What's up, Attack MMA? I'm your host, Zach Weicker, and today we got a very special guest. She's a professional fighter with a 4-1 record and will be competing on Dana White's Contender Series Week 10 on October 15th. Please welcome Leslie Hernandez. Leslie, how are you doing today?
Hi, Zach. Good. Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's an honor. And before we get into the fight, I like to give the fans a quick introduction on yourself and your background. So, how and when did you get into MMA?
I've been fighting MMA for about 6, 7 years now. Um, I started Taekwondo actually mixed Taekwondo when I was 7 years old. I'm currently 26. And then I started boxing when I was 13, and then I didn't make the switch to MMA until I was 18, 17, 18. And yeah, I've been doing MMA now, professional since 2022.
Very nice. And how did you start your Taekwondo career when you were 7? What are some of your early memories from just jumping in there at such a young age?
My dad was the one that put me on Taekwondo. That was when we first came to the United States. I was 8 years old. I was born in Mexico, so I came to the States when I was 8. My dad put us in Taekwondo. I'd say like a couple months after we lived here, and I did Taekwondo for like about 7 years, and then that's when I went into boxing.
Yeah, and you mentioned you were from Mexico. So what's that transition like for you and your family from moving to Mexico to the United States?
It was really hard, like I said. So when I moved to Mexico, I was a kid. I was 8. So it was really hard. One of the hardest things was because I didn't speak the language, English, so I didn't really understand anything, and I came straight to third grade. So I used to get bullied in school, and I think that's also one of the reasons why my dad decided to put me in Taekwondo, just to like learn self-defense and just to like learn friends, meet new people, and just kind of get not just be home all the time, and like just I guess just try to get to meet new people in a whole new country.
Yeah, very nice. And of course, you have those Mexican roots, and every time you go into the cage, every time you fight, you're representing your country. So how much does that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm born over there and I was raised a couple years over there. So every time I fight wherever, even since used to box, I always represented Mexico. Um Now in MMA, I represent Mexico as well. Like I don't know, I just like I was telling somebody else the other day, I don't feel embarrassed or ashamed or shy to say that I'm Mexican and that I represent my country, because yeah, thankful to that I'm here. Like yeah. So
And something that I find pretty cool is your nickname. You do have the nickname Dora the Destroyer. So what's the origin story behind that?
yeah, so it's funny because I always get this question. Uh so in 2020, when COVID happened, people go through stuff and a lot of mental issues and stuff. So I decided to cut my hair like short, like Dora. And I had it short for like a whole year. I went back to the gym, and I had a teammate one day. He's like, "Hey, like you look like Dora." And I guess also because I'm Mexican and Dora is Mexican, so I was like, "Oh yeah." And he's like, "No, no, no, but like, you look like Dora, but let me call you something else." He's like, "Let me call you Dora the Destroyer because of the way you fight." He's like, "You're literally like Dora the Destroyer." And then that's literally how I started. He just started saying that, and then said it as a joke to a like coach, and then coach started saying it, and now everybody like, and so like one day I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna go with it. Let me just play with it, like keep going. And so I didn't announce that nickname, and that was in 2020. That was before I made my pro debut. I didn't announce it until like my third pro fight. That's when I put it out there. But yeah, for like 2 years, they were just calling me that at the gym, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna own it and just take it with me to the cage, and yeah, everybody likes it.
It is an amazing nickname. And the next time you will be taking it to the cage is for the Contender Series. So, how did your management team get this opportunity for you? And what was that reaction when you got that phone call from your management team saying you got this amazing opportunity?
Yeah, so I had fought in July, and I had a good fight, for LFA. And after that, I was talking to my manager, and I was like, "Hey, I want to get back in there like soon, maybe like August, I mean September or October, and they were like, yeah, okay, we'll find because I have a contract with LFA, like we'll find you something, they're gonna go to Cali and they're coming back here till November, and I was like, just staying ready, and then one day it was inspiring. My coach was like, hey, um, it was before the contender started, before the first week. It was 2 weeks before the first week one, and he said, "Hey, Jason called and he said that there's a possibility to get you in the contenders." He's like, I was when he said that to me, and I was kind of like shook, and I was like, "There's no way." And then he's like, "Yeah, but like he's like, it's not sure, but just keep it in your head in case it does happen. You're not caught by surprise." He's like, "That's what we're working towards, anyways. Like." It is what it is, If we get caught, cool. If we don't, we keep working. And he's like, well, let us know in a week. And so I kind of like, because I wasn't sure, I was kind of just kept training and doing my thing. And then that Wednesday, a couple days later, he's like, I was in jiu-jitsu class, and it was an afternoon. I was in jiu-jitsu class after sparring, and he's like, hey, Les, somebody wants to talk to you on the phone. And he called me during class, and I like got up, and I was like, hey, what's up? And it was Jason. And then on the phone on FaceTime, and he was like, Contender Series October 15th. And I was like, there's no way. I was like, no, for real? He's like, yeah, yeah, I'm serious. I couldn't believe it when I heard that, when I was like it's a done deal, and I was like, oh my God, like I was very, very shocked. I was surprised. Um, but yeah, it was just so like, exciting. My coach was so happy. Like we both just hugged each other. We were like, man, like it's time. Like it's here. Like we've been working all our like lives. You've been working all your life for this. And I was like, yeah, it's like it's fine now. It's here. And then I told my family, I told my coaches, my friends, and everybody was so excited for me. And yeah, and like I said, I was excited and surprised. And then every person I told, he's like, I was like, hey, like I'm fighting contenders October 15th. And everybody's like, oh, yeah, we're not surprised. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm the only one surprised. So, like, yeah, like we knew that was coming like sooner or later. So, or, like, nobody was surprised. I was like, oh, okay. They're like, you're ready. I was like, okay. So, yeah.
It is a well-deserved opportunity, and kind of on that surprise factor, you made your rise to the top in a pretty fast manner as you only have 5 pro bouts under your belt. So do you think the fact that you have shown to the bosses and shown to the higher ups that in those 5 fights you're worthy of this opportunity kind of just shows the level of a fighter you are?
Yeah, yeah, like I said, I only have 5 fights. In the contenders, I've noticed that a lot of the fighters, that's what they look for, like prospects, like young people coming up with not a lot of fights. So at first, I was a little shook because I was like, man, I only have 5 fights. Like, I was like, I feel like I am still new, I'm still starting. And then I started watching, and I had my teammates who I had 2 teammates that one of them had the same record, or they had one more fight than me. And they both on week one, and one of them got the contract, and the other one didn't. But I was just like, you know what? No, I'm ready, and especially because the 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 type of fights that I've gone through, like with LFA, I haven't had no easy fights. So that gives me like a big relief, and like I feel very confident in going into this fight because man, I've been through some tough fights with that company. So um yeah, man, like at first I couldn't understand why like I was getting these hard fights. Like my pro debut, I lost my pro debut to a split decision to a tough girl, and I was like, man, like I don't get it. Like all these people, I see all these girls that kind of like get, I don't want to say it, but kind of like padded, like they help them out to go to the top, but then they get to the top, and then they when they have to fight somebody good, they can't react, So that has me like feel very confident, very relieved that I've gone through those hard fights already early in my career. So yeah, I'm ready for the next day, next level now. So.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, those 5 fights were with LFA, and you mentioned they're not easy fights. What you get at LFA are tough competition. So to start your career, how do you feel that builds you into the fighter you are today?
Yeah, like I was saying, like I started my pro career with them, and like I said, I lost my pro debut. Growing up, since I was a kid, my dream was always to win my pro debut. Like ever, I feel especially from boxing, like in boxing, um, you don't start if you're good, you don't start like with the loss, you know? Like once you start with the loss, people are like, ah, like you're not that good, like or people, I don't know, just start promotions, don't start looking at you. But it's different than MMA. But when I did my pro debut and I lost, and I was like, man, like, do I suck? Like, am I not that good? Like I felt like I was pretty good, and then stuff happens and yeah, I didn't get the win. So I was like, man, and then they offered me my second fight. And one thing about it that with LFA, I've never turned down an opponent. I never, whatever they offer me, I always say yeah. I never said, no, I don't want that one. That's too hard. I want another one. So I was always like that person that's like, yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take that one. I'll take it for that day. Like I'm always very like that about it. And so like now that makes me, like I said, it makes me feel so confident going into this fight. Like I feel like I've hit the canvas, I've wrestled, I've done jiu-jitsu in my fights, I've strike toe to toe with good strikers. So man, I feel like I'm ready just for the next step and ready. I feel pretty confident right now. Pretty confident.
Definitely. And to move on to this fight, you will be fighting Julieta Martinez. So, have you done your research on your opponent? And if so, what are your thoughts on your opponent's fighting style and strengths?
Yeah, so we tried to do research. We couldn't really find much. I know that she's a young girl. She's 7-0, and she trains in Mexico City at the PI. Um, I like I said, I haven't really been able to find much like video on her stuff. There was when they first accepted the fight. I know they had sent video, and one of my coaches actually saw some film. And then when we were gonna sit down to for my whole team to watch, it was like blocked from YouTube. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but like I was telling the other guys the other day, I was like, man, like we're so early in our careers. Like this is what my sixth fight. This is her eighth fight. We're so early in every fight. I feel like we are evolving and we're getting better. So to me, watching film on my opponents, uh, not that I don't care, but like I kind of don't because like, every fight's different, you know. You're getting better. Sometimes you do film and you get all these things in your head and you plan all this and then you go in the fight and then it's such a different thing and then now you got to be able to adjust, you know. So like that's always been my goal right now, especially my thoughts as a young fighter that things are not always gonna go how they look on film, they look on Instagram or whatever it is in the fight. Later on, once you get a couple fights, like I don't know, 15, 20 fights, you start building and you see the type of fighter that you are. But right now we're so young, people are changing, your game's always changing, your style's always changing. So I'm not really worried as much about the film. I go in there and do my stuff and then I just adjust as it goes.
Yeah, and even though you might not know that much about your opponent, of course, you know all about yourself. So, in this fight, where do you believe you will stand out?
Yeah, man, like I said, I've been in this last couple months, I feel like I leveled up a lot. I've seen it in my sparrings, I've seen it in training. So whatever she want to take the fight, well, we're gonna take the fight. If she wants it in the floor, cool. If she wants it standing up, perfect. I love the stand up. So whatever it is, I'm gonna be ready.
Yeah, and she is an undefeated opponent, so does it give you a little extra motivation to take away her O?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I love beating undefeated opponents.
That's great. And this is the Dana White Contender Series, and you never know what Dana's gonna do. Sometimes it only takes fighters that get the finish. Sometimes he'll take fighters that are in an absolute war. But with that stipulation, does that put a little extra pressure on you to get that finish?
um, Not really. Like I said, I know this is the Dana White Contender Series, but it's another fight, It's just another fight. A lot of people feel like a lot of fighters do go in there and thinking like, oh, he wants a knockout or he wants a finish, and they end up not performing the way they usually do because of all the pressure it gets to them. I'm not letting that happen to me. I'm treating this like another fight. If the finish happens, cool. If it doesn't, that's fine. As long as I give it my all and my team is happy, like I'm happy. Like I can't control nothing else besides that. I'm just gonna all I know is that I'm gonna go in there and give my all.
Yeah. And you mentioned that people get pressure. Of course, fighters get pressure, and this is the biggest fight of your career. And when you're in these high pressure fights and you get that fight anxiety and pressure, how do you combat that?
Um, I think I've gotten a little better. Kind of just it's so hard to explain. Like I used to get really growing up, like in my amateur days, like I used to get really nervous and really like, oh, like the people. But like, especially right now, I feel like the fighting for LFA has helped me a lot. It's a big promotion, so like I'm been under those lights. You know, it's like it's not the same, but it's kind of similar to like the big stage. It's close to a big stage like that. So I'm kind of like I just I don't know. It's so hard to explain. I don't know. It's just in my head. I just battle my own things, you know, and like I still go out there and perform. So
Yeah. And what makes the Contender Series so special, of course, you're fighting for a UFC contract, but this is also the first time hundreds of thousands of fans will be watching you fight. So does that give you a little extra motivation to showcase to the UFC fans what you're truly capable of?
yeah, that's for sure like very motivating. Like I'm very excited for I know I have like a good following and like I said on LFA, people have watched me and stuff, but like I said earlier, we're always getting better, you know, we're always evolving. So I can't wait to showcase like what I'm really capable of, especially in a big like stage like that, man. Like that means I just want to go in there and perform the way I train, the way I spar, and yeah, everything else will fall into place after that.
And the fans will be watching you, but also Dana White will be watching you right there. So what would you like to tell Dana White after your fight once you win?
Once I win, yeah, I was I win like, hey, they that contract.
Nice and simple. And
Yeah.
on that contract, of course, that would be a dream come true for you. That would be what you've worked for your whole career. So, how much would that mean for you and your family for you to become a UFC fighter?
Man, that's like it's crazy because I get like goosebumps out of the ask that question because like I'm so focused in the fight that I haven't really sat down to think about like these questions like damn like what is it gonna mean, but like man it means everything because like you said I've been doing this since I was 7 years old, so practically my whole life. I'm 26 now. It's a like a big opening, big opportunity for me for to better my life, to better my family's life, the people around me. And the thing is, the goal was the goal was always to get to the UFC. That was always the goal, but the actual goal is to stay in the UFC, stay and climb up to the rankings and fight for a belt. That's like the ultimate goal. Like this is just little steps. Getting to UFC obviously right now is huge, but I feel like once I get there, because I know I will, it's to stay there and not just get there, to stay there, fight good, give good fights, and eventually fight for a title one day.
That's the great way to look at it. And you've been doing a lot of training for this fight. So, how's your training camp been so far?
Oh man, it's it's been a hard camp for sure. All my camps always a little hard, but this one I can feel it. Like it's been hard, but I've been having fun every day I go into the gym. And every person that sees me, every teammate, coach, whatever it is, always reminds me, hey, they're like, hey, enjoy it, like enjoy the day, enjoy the ride, enjoy it, enjoy every moment. And so since everyone has been telling me that, it's kind of in my head every time I go into a training station and I'm like, man, I'm tired today, or like I'm getting my ass beat, or whatever it is. Like I'm like, you know what, I'm enjoying this, I'm enjoying it. Like not everybody gets to do this, and I have an amazing life, man. Like being able to do what I do, it's one of the best things. Like not a lot of people can do. So I'm blessed, and yeah, just enjoying every day, the hard days, the easy days. So
Yeah, and you do train at the MMA lab. So, how would you describe your experience training there, and what are your relationships like with your coaches and training partners?
Yeah, I've been at the MMA lab since 2016. Um, our coach John Crouch, he's been like a second dad to me since the first day that I walk into those doors. So, we have a pretty good relationship. What I love about him is that he loves us as fighters, but he loves us more as people. It's always like the person that you are. He doesn't care if you stop fighting tomorrow, like he just loves you for who you are. So I feel like that's a big like important thing, that's having somebody who loves and cares for you in that way. That makes fighting so much easier and so much comfortable, so much fun. Yeah, you just enjoy every day that you go there. I go into the gym and I'm there every day. I enjoy it every day. The people around me, my teammates, I have some of the best teammates there. The coaches and just like the regular people that go in there to train, like everybody's just so nice and friendly. So yeah, it's man, that's why we're the best gym in the world. So
Yeah, and it's great to hear that Crouch is like a father figure for you.
oh
And
yeah, yeah. For me, for a lot of the people in the gym, like yeah, he's a great person.
and great coaches give more than just advice on fighting. They give life advice. So what'd you say is the biggest piece of life advice he has given you?
Um, he always tells me this: enjoy, enjoy it. Like enjoy the day, enjoy the moment. He always tells me, no matter what's going on, enjoy the moment because you never know if tomorrow you're gonna be there. You never know if tomorrow you're gonna be able to do this. You never know when's gonna be the last time. So he's always like, give it your all and enjoy it. That's it. That's all he asks for. Hard work, enjoy yourself. Like if you're there, but have fun. He doesn't want you there if you're not having fun. He's like, that's the whole point of it. Having fun, working hard, having fun, showing up. That's it. So I have
That,
those three things in my head.
that's a great piece of advice. And with this opportunity on October 15th, you will get the opportunity to go to the Apex, go to the PI, try on the gloves, try on the shorts, sign the poster. So does all that stuff excite you? Doing the media, the non-fight related stuff, does that also excite you?
I don't really put much like thought into it. I guess when I'm there, it'll be exciting. It's an experience, you know. But like right now, I haven't really thought about that. Just training so much that when I do have time to think about something, it's about the fight. Like I've had the fight in my head every day. I sleep with it. I just sleep dream that I'm getting that contract. So everything else, I haven't really put much thought into it. But like I know obviously when you're there, you experience it and it's just such an experience. Like I went to do my interviews and my photo shoots like 2 weeks ago and it was amazing. I had a great time. Everyone there is so nice. So I guess once I'm there, it's like that's when it hits like, oh my God, like this is cool. But right now, just thinking about the fight.
Yeah. And it seems like you're eat, sleep, dreaming about this fight. So
Oh yeah, every day.
would you say this is the most motivated you have been in your career?
uh yeah, you can say that. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I get excited for every fight, but obviously this is a little different, you know. But yeah, I think I am very motivated right now, especially because I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying every day. Like I said, I have that in my head of just enjoying the moment. So that's been like a huge thing for me in my past fights. That I just I'm kind of like a robot, just go 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 go, and I forget to enjoy the little things. So right now, I'm even though I'm still going, I'm taking the time to think about it. And like I'm just grateful to be here. So.
That's amazing. And my final question for you is when you make it to the UFC, what are some dream fights that you want to have down the line?
Oh, okay. I for sure one day I want to fight Wei Lee. I want to fight her. I love her. I think she's awesome. Um, Mackenzie Dern. Mackenzie Dern because I want to test my jiu-jitsu one day like that. I love, and then mm, I would say Rose, but Rose, I don't know if she goes down to 115. But yeah, for sure, Wei Lee and yeah, Mackenzie. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure by that time there's gonna be a lot of like great fighters coming up. So yeah, I know this the crazy thing right now that the MMA women's MMA is growing so much that the girls are getting so good. So it's I know once they get there, it's gonna be very exciting fights. Like the girls are going there to fight now, like for real.
Yeah, those would both be amazing fights. Is there anything you want to shout out? Anything you want to plug before you head out of here?
No, I just want everybody to stay tuned October 15th and watch me on ESPN Plus on a Tuesday.
Yes. Leslie, it was more than a pleasure having you on. I want to wish you the best of luck in your upcoming fight. Folks, that'll be all for today. Until next time, peace.
Thank you, Zach.